Why does it seem like my wife's hobby is starting and stopping hobbies? Hyperfixations are a symptom of ADHD. Has she been evaluated? Edit. I am not advocating self-diagnosis. I was looking for clarification from OP in case the wife had a pre-existing condition. Having one trait that resembles an aspect of ADHD does not mean you have ADHD. If you suspect you do, then get screened by your provider. She spent like $2,000 in cards. I'ma stop ya right there. What? $1,500 guitar. Go to a flea market or pawn shop. Your wife likely has ADHD. She should see a psychiatrist. Source. I have ADHD and this is me and all my ADHD friends. I've had a million hobbies. I'll take up a new one that interests me. Do it for as long as it stays fun. And stop when it's not fun anymore. I don't have ADHD. I just like novelty and trying new things. I like creating, painting, photography, music, resin projects, soap, Rubik's cubes, distilling alcohol, inventing recipes, making macarons, home improvements, mastering using my smoker, etc. I get obsessed with them while I'm enjoying them, and usually never touch them again once I'm bored of it. Not everyone wants to commit to a single hobby the rest of their life. Some people enjoy having many hobbies over the years. I've found that the second group tends to be more interesting since they have a lot of different experiences and skills. I have diagnosed ADHD. This sounds like my life story. I am hyper-focused on a topic. Then I get to a point of saturation and drop it. Only. I know how to keep costs down and resell when I get to the point. Your wife looks like me. I bought telescope, VR, PS5 and a lot of stuff and lost interest after some time. In my case, I like trying new things, visiting new places, learning more. Maybe your wife enjoys trying new things. I wouldn't call it obsession. You might find some insight in Refuse to Choose by Barbara Sher. For some of us, myself included, learning about many different interests is a normal way of life, not a mental illness. People on the internet shouldn't psychoanalyze your wife. Talk to her. This could be anything, from her just not caring because she has the extra money and liking stuff to her having an issue that she is trying to cope with. People can't say if she has ADHD etc. based on your one-sided story that doesn't have a lot of context. Some people do that. It's not unhealthy to jump hobbies without knowing how much your wife makes or what your other expenses are. It's impossible to say if she's making poor financial decisions. If she's putting less than 10% of her income towards these projects and has no outstanding debt or large upcoming expenses, then there's probably nothing wrong with it. If you're worried about her finances, by all means bring it up, but come from a place of love and concern, not judgment. It's her money after all. If she's open to a conversation, consider the following tips. Remember to be constructive and find ways to support her. Don't ask that she stop having fun altogether. Learn to sell old hobby gear. People who like to jump from thing to thing tend to have an eBay phase eventually. Start hobbies with reading material and entry-level equipment. Top-of-the-line instruments won't make an amateur sound better. Work with her to develop organizational techniques so that she can start each new thing with a clean workspace and won't accumulate a pile of abandoned projects. This ties into selling old gear. Isn't this normal? Asking for a friend. Some people value trying and learning about new things, and they want to start with all the best stuff for that thing. It's not a mental illness. Does she seem distressed about it at all? Or is she just enjoying going from one hobby to the next? If she is genuinely enjoying learning and trying new things, there's no need to worry. You could suggest that she buy second-hand stuff and sell off things as she moves on to something new. This sounds exactly like me. My wife thinks it is funny. For me, the excitement is finding something new and learning everything I can about it. Once I do, I want to try something else. It's the learning that is my hobby. Is your wife extremely intelligent and competitive? I do this too. I don't have ADHD. As some of the other comments suggest, I like the idea of doing a cool, fun hobby, but then I lose inspiration when I realize that these hobbies take time to learn. Everyone is jumping to ADHD, which I think is absolutely ridiculous. Some people just like to jump from interest to interest. It's natural for some people. However, if money is the issue, then perhaps that's a conversation you need to have. Support her in her endeavors to enjoy different things. But instead of a $2,500 in guitar equipment, she could probably get the same fulfillment from $1,000 in equipment. Same with anything else, really. My girlfriend is very similar, but she usually buys the entry-level equipment first, or rents the nicer stuff. And if the hobby sticks, then she puts more money into it. We have separate finances, so it doesn't really concern me. If that's how you feel, then stop right there. It's most likely ADD, ADHD. I have it and I feel attacked, LMAO. I'm exactly the same. Spent $2,000 on a gym membership. Stopped going after a month. I also spend money on my hobbies and then drop them. If you have separate finances, and she's not coming to you for money help, then what does it matter that she spends money on her hobbies? My hobby is collecting the tangible items associated with multiple hobbies. It's like a shopping addiction, but I'm not interested in clothes. I'm interested in buying things that I can then plan around what I want the finished item to be. Unfortunately, my hands can't take more than a few hours a day, so I know these things will never be finished, but thinking about what finished item could be makes me happy. I know not to get rid of things, because when I did do a major purge, I ended up buying those exact same things again when I came back around to that hobby. I'm mostly a textile artist, and some projects require several techniques. As for your wife with Magic the Gathering, I've found that a lot of tournaments, even the store-run, fun nights, are not very welcoming to women. The only women who stick with it have to be tough-skinned to not get run off. It's also annoying when you beat a guy who can't stand losing to women and he's nasty to you for every interaction after that, but because he isn't being physically abusive, the store won't do anything. It takes the fun out of it. Lots of people trying to diagnose your wife as ADHD, but maybe it's just the very real human issue. That learning takes time and lots of people don't want to put in the time. We live in a modern world where we are sold the idea that if we have the tools, we can succeed. But learning takes time, effort, and mental investment. Just because someone can't do that doesn't mean they have ADHD, like so many commenters are saying. I know more people who don't have any hobbies because they can't be bothered to invest time to learn than those who do. It's just the human experience of living in this fast-paced century. I suppose from the outside it would look like I abandoned the hobby and the materials were gathering dust. I just call it hobby crop rotation. It's not that I'll never do needle felting, or resin or paint again, but the way my brain works, I will be very into something for a time and then the switch will flip and it simply doesn't bring me joy anymore. I'm at a point in my life now where I am not adding any other hobbies, because I have the supplies already for any of them, just ready and waiting, and one great big set of shelves where it all lives. They come and go in phases. A craft that I haven't touched for 18 months may be my new favorite thing tomorrow, and I'll pick up Right where I left off. No additional investment needed for supplies. Skills intact. Half-finished project ready to be resumed. My enjoyment of the hobby is real and satisfactory even if I'm not engaging with it every weekend. All year. To forestall the comments. Yeah, don't worry, I know I have ADHD.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Aircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.